Hi, everyone. So, the energy that's coming through today is I feel like your inner child is trying to tell you something. I think as a collective, our inner children are all really calling out to us and perhaps even warning us of something, of our own inner wounding, perhaps. Um, I'm going to roll a zodiac sign dice just to see if I can get a better feel of the type of energy that we're working with. This is not your zodiac sign. It could be, but it's not an indication of that. So I'm getting Leo. And Leo is a sign of someone who is a leader. Generally, when I think of Leo, I think of someone who can lead the charge of people, lead the collective, be confident and fearless when it comes to being a leader. So it may be that your inner child is calling you to be a leader and to even take chances on things, to really call on your inner self-confidence. So it may be that that is where your wounding of your inner child could be in your self-confidence. So that is what Leo is telling me at the moment. But I do want to pull an inner child oracle card to start to see if we can get some more ideas of what our inner child is trying to tell us. So we have find your haven. There is a place of wonder waiting just for you. So you can see that there's like this castle type looking place through this threshold, through this opening in this card. And so it is kind of telling me that your inner child is beckoning you towards crossing this threshold. So whatever that is for you, and we'll pull some more cards to see if we can get some more ideas of exactly what your inner child is trying to tell you. But it does look like there is a haven through this threshold. If you just cross the threshold, this is filled with wonder and filled with really good things. So you could be close on achieving something like that. But let's ask the tarot too. So my intention is to set this reading for the weekend ahead. And so this is approximately the next 72 hours that we're doing this reading for. So we have the World, King of Wands, Six of Cups, Two of Wands. Underneath, 10 of Swords, the Star, Knight of Wands, Nine of Swords, the Hierophant, and the Eight of Swords. So it looks like your overall energy for this weekend could be one of some type of fear that you might have regarding something. And that may be what your inner child is trying to tell you. This fear that you're feeling could be based on old wounds. It could be based on old ideas or false negative beliefs about yourself. And that may be why I'm hearing your inner child call out to you that if you just cross this threshold, if you face your fears and just step through, that I believe your fears are keeping you from stepping through that threshold and into this wonderful new world that's awaiting for you. And the reason that I think that too is because we are seeing the World card here. So it does look like this weekend you've already, so let me slow down for a second before I get to the weekend. You have already passed a test somewhere. You have already passed a spiritual test. And I'm getting the sense, just from what I can see here so far, that perhaps you in your past have been somewhat of a people pleaser, that you wanted to make a lot of different people happy, and probably usually at the expense of yourself, and probably usually for people who don't appreciate you, is what I'm really getting. And I think that's why your inner child is really crying out to you to say you don't have to do that anymore. With the World being here, I think this is telling me that you have already passed the test, that you already learned that lesson, but yet you still haven't entered the new world that the universe has opened up for you. This world has opened up a whole portal for you to just step through. But I believe your Eight of Swords is really kind of holding you back, that there may still be people in your energy who may be holding you back. And even though you know that you're people pleasing and that it's not good for you and that these people might not be good for you, or at least they're level of appreciation might not be good for you, but you continue to have them in your energy anyway. And I'm starting to get a lot of ideas, but I'm going to slow down and try to get through everything. So, but I am seeing the 10 of Swords here. And when I see the 10 of Swords, it's repeating this message to me that you know that this should be over. You know that whatever this situation that you're in, whoever you're people pleasing still, you know that it's time to put an end to that because you know you passed the test. You know this portal is open. You know this timeline is collapsing and another one is opening. But because you still haven't done it, because you're still in this 8 of Swords energy, it leads me to believe that you have overlooked something. You've overlooked some important details of this test that you passed. So perhaps you got a 95% on the test, which is still a passing grade as far as the universe is concerned. But what is that other 5% that you missed? What is that? What are those details? And I think your inner child is really asking you to look at those details, to look at the fact that you can release perhaps this person or people in your energy that you feel responsible for. So there may be something there that you have overlooked. With the World and the Star coming in here, though, the universe is very much with you over this weekend. So I think there's going to be a lot of spiritual work that you're going to do this weekend. And it involves a lot of healing, I believe, with the star here. So the universe is really asking you to kind of focus on what were those details that you missed. And with the star, to really sit and be quiet and listen to your inner child, because your inner child is really asking you to tune into your heart portal. And we talk about that a lot on this channel, about making sure that your heart chakra is still open, but that you're protecting your general energy field. If you protect your whole field around you, then you can be free to leave your heart chakra open and have your heart chakra flow and be balanced. But if your energy field around you is being invaded by people who are taking advantage of you, then you're going to close your heart chakra because you have to find some way to protect yourself. So I believe that's what's happening here. And there are Reiki healings that I can offer you for free that deal with that. But we'll talk about that a little bit more later in the reading. Once I take a look at your chakras and figure out what's going on here, we can get more specific about what kind of Reiki healing this will require. But I am getting that there is this need to open your heart chakra and really listen. Listen to what your inner child is telling you, because your inner child lives inside of your heart chakra. But you are being challenged this weekend. This person, I believe, it's turning, it looks like a family member to me, because when I see two cards of the same suit come in together, we're getting the King of Wands and we're getting the Knight of Wands. So this is probably some kind of a family member, someone that you are familially attached to. So whether this is a spouse or whether this is a grown adult child or whether this is a parent, make it make sense for you. But this person is very challenging for you this weekend, because you are going to be going through a lot of emotions, but the star is here to help with that. As you try to break away from your people-pleasing ways with this person, I think that this person is going to give you a hard time about it, that they're going to say that they're heartbroken or they're destroyed, that you're not helping them anymore, that they're shattered, that you are not helping them anymore. But these are very manipulative types of energies. And so I can't help but notice that you are showing up here as the King of Wands, and we rolled the Leo zodiac sign, and these are represented, the King of Wands also represents Leo. And so there's this double message coming through from your inner child saying, really pull on your confidence right now, really dig deep and find your inner King of Wands, and have that King of Wands set a strong boundary with this Knight of Wands and say, no, this is not, you are not my responsibility, and I don't need to people please you anymore. Here, go about your life. I have done everything that I possibly can for you, and I'm about to step through this threshold and into a new timeline that may or may not involve this person, But even if this person is with you in the next timeline, because perhaps it's a parent or a child or someone who you don't want to cut out of your life entirely, but at least your inner King of Wands has set a firm boundary with that person about what is your responsibility and what is not your responsibility. And I think that's what this weekend is going to be for a lot of you, is really listening, tuning into your heart portal and asking your inner child to help you discern between the two. Which one of these things am I responsible for and which one am I not? And which one of these things are they putting on me just because they don't want to do it and they know that I will? So there is a message coming through here too, and it's a similar message to what we've been getting, because we have the Six of Cups coming in with the Nine of Swords. So again, this is giving me a feeling of either this is your child, your grown child, or perhaps you are the child that you're taking care of a parent. It just keeps giving that same type of energy. But this is really, the more you cater to this idea that this is your responsibility because this is your parent and that automatically makes you responsible, or this is your grown child and that automatically makes you responsible. Of course, I am not talking about actual children who are not grown, because they are your responsibility. But I know you know that. I'm talking about people in your energy who you are not responsible for, but they're making you feel like you are. And that is because you're still kind of stuck in that energy. The Nine of Swords is here because your emotions, your anxiety about the situation is trying to inform you that this is not right, that this is not good for you, that this person or people are taking advantage of you. And that there's a need here with the Six of Cups. Your inner child is trying to ask you to accept what is not yours. It's to put down any baggage that isn't actually yours to carry. And that will help to release a lot of this anxiety. And I was thinking when I first sat down that this message was about a warning to someone from their inner child that this anxiety is not going to go away. And in fact, anxiety usually gets worse if you just ignore it. So we have the Eight of Swords has now become the Nine of Swords. So I can tell that the anxiety that this person or people are creating for you is just growing because you've not addressed it. So I like this energy though, the way you're leaving the weekend. And I think it's because you are going to sit, it looks like with the World and the Star, that you are going to sit in this energy. Because you realize that your responsibilities are too fragmented, that this is now keeping you up at night with the Nine of Swords because it's become too much. And that's where your inner child really wants to help you to get grounded. And the World and the Star are here because the universe knows you've already done the work, you've already passed the test, so you don't have to be here anymore. And so there is this feeling that you're going to leave the weekend understanding with the Two of Wands that there is a different way, that the Two of Wands is always this idea that you've always done things one way, but now you're starting to open your eyes to see that there is another way. And I think that information is going to come through your heart portal and from your inner child to show you what exactly you are responsible for. And that if you are taking care of someone because you feel guilt about something, which I want to talk about that too, but I'll hold that for a second. But if you're feeling as though you have done something wrong, or that the reason you're taking care of this person is because you have somehow wronged them, or that you are on the hook for something, you're seeing something differently by the end of the weekend, that you can forgive yourself for whatever it is you think that you did. And once you forgive yourself for that, you can really release it. You can return to your inner child and then healing those wounds inside of your heart chakra. And you can actually feel that sorrow and work through that sorrow, because working through it and facing it is the only way to really heal it and release it. Another thing that I am feeling called to say here, because the Hierophant showed up here by the end of the weekend, some of you might be ready to talk to some kind of a counselor, to some kind of a therapist. just to help you if there is remorse involved, because I'm getting a feeling that there is in this situation, that there's a person who you can reach out to that can help you to forgive and move on. So if you have to forgive this person, or if you have to forgive yourself, then there is someone out there that you can reach out to help you move on. And it could be a psychotherapist, the talk therapist. It could be just a mentor or a teacher of yours, or if there's a religious figure that you really trust and look up to, just anyone who you really feel, it could even be a friend or another relative, just someone who you really feel might have the guidance to help you. So then between the messages that your inner child is trying to tell you and between this actual person in your 3D world, you'll be able to get good advice on how to move on from having to people please this person and having to feel like they are your responsibility when they are not. They are their responsibility. They are on their own spiritual journey. And the more you stay with them on that spiritual journey, the more karma you're going to collect for yourself. And that would be a terrible thing, because you've already cleaned up a lot of your karmic spaghetti, as I like to call it, because you just passed a test. So why go backwards? Why repeat the grade when you've already passed the grade? So, but I do want to mention quickly about the word guilt. So when people say, I feel guilty for, and fill in the blank for whatever that is for you, I want to remind people that guilt is not a feeling. You either are guilty or you are not guilty. So when you say, I feel guilty about something, I just want to remind you to be very honest with yourself that if you did something wrong, then perhaps you are guilty, and there are things you can do to remedy that. But if you didn't do anything wrong, then you're not guilty, and you certainly shouldn't feel guilty. So that was for someone. I felt very called to say that. So I want to do some big picture oracles to start to close this reading out, because I think we have our message. And there's another message coming through here too, because whenever you're healing your heart portal, there's a lot of pain involved. And so I understand this weekend with the world and the star showing up here, if this is your message, it's going to be a painful weekend. It's probably going to be filled with a lot of sorrow. You're going to be you're going to be working with your inner child. And it's probably going to be pretty emotional if you're really diving in and doing the work. And so I also want to remind you that don't hold back your tears. Just let them flow, because there's healing in that too. Talk to your inner child and cry together. It's so important on your healing journey. But let's look at the big picture oracles. So we have the mountain, which speaks of obstacles. But then we have the clover, which speaks of lucky opportunities. Then we have the swords, and then we have the letter. So to me, this is about, underneath we have the lily, which is about spiritual wisdom, which is really what your inner child is really calling you to look at your spiritual wisdom so you can gain your confidence from that. And the star will be here with you this weekend to help with that. So, but with the mountain and the clover coming through here together, this is about your inner child really wants to help you to make a clear path across this mountain for you on how to get past this additional 5% of the test that you missed the first time. And that it's not really going to require a lot of effort, because you already are this close. You're so close to crossing that threshold into the life of your dreams. And then this again to me is confirming with the swords and the letter. When I sat down, I said your inner child is trying to communicate a warning to you. And this is repeating that these swords there's a conflict around you that your inner child is really trying to communicate with you. And the letter is the card of communication in the big picture oracle cards. And so that's very clear to me too, that's just confirmation that your inner child really wants to talk to you about that, is really trying to express that to you. And also with the letter coming in with the Hierophant, this is your 3D person. This is that confidant that you have in your energy who is going to be able to really help you too. There's someone around you who can really help you release things and forgive and whatever it is that you have to do in your situation. So I would like to pull a self-care oracle card, because I think that you're going to really want to focus on your self-care this weekend. So you have special gifts. Never surrender to normal. So that's something your inner child is really trying to get through to you right now too. And awakening, a realization, shift, or discovery. So this weekend is going to be huge for you spiritually because you're so close to crossing into that new timeline. And once you cross that timeline, you're going to be given your gift. Your gift is going to be unlocked. So that's for probably all of you. I was going to say that's for someone, but I think that's for all of you. Once you cross into the timeline that the universe has already opened for you because you passed the test, that is when you unlock your gifts. So, and then finally, let's look at your chakras because I know I'm feeling the heart chakra here, but what else? So we do have the throat chakra coming in here too with contemplative. And so I think that that is a good thing. I feel like the color of your throat chakra feels like a good color to me, that it's balanced and it's open, you're letting light in, it is flowing, and you are in this contemplative state. So I feel like, again, this is just more confirmation for us that this weekend you're going to spend a lot of time really thinking about what is your responsibility and what is not your responsibility. So, I will have a Reiki chakra healing in the comments and in the description. But it looks like your chakras are in good shape. So I'll have one in there that you can sort of play around with this weekend. But I don't really think that that's what you need to focus on at this time. I do think you just need to focus on talking to your inner child and perhaps finding a trusted confidant to talk to and figure out what's yours and what isn't yours, so you can release all these anxiety swords that are around you. So please let me know how this was resonant for you, and we will do this again sometime. Thanks, everybody. Bye.